Hello, good people, and welcome back to Unit 3, Lesson 1, Part 2. So in this next half, we're going to talk about goods and services, and this should be the back side of your note sheet, okay? So for the first, or the last category, I should say, of taxes, we've got goods and services. So the first of the four that we'll discuss in this particular category is sales tax. Now, this is a lot to squeeze in that little tiny space, so be sure to write small and paraphrase. This is a flat fee on any goods, okay? So not services, just goods, okay? This is retail plus a percentage determined by either the federal, state, or local government. For example, sales tax in North Carolina is 6.75%, so it rounds up to about 7 cents for every dollar you spend at the store. So for example, if you go to the store and you get yourself a can of Arizona sweet tea, okay, or a can of Arizona green tea for that matter, on the side of the actual can, it is printed where it says only 99 cents. However, when you get up to the cash register and you have to pay, you need to mysteriously produce 7 more pennies by the time you get up there because it's $1.06 once you add tax. So, if you go to a restaurant and you're buying food, or if you are purchasing like clothes or something, you have to make sure to account for sales tax on top of the retail price. All right, now an excise tax, not exercise, but excise, is based on quantity and not value. So this is placed on specific goods. Like for example, it is placed on gas, and both federal and state levels will tax you on 1 gallon of gas. So let's say for example, you go down to the sheets and you see that the price of this tank of gas is $2.19. That is not how much the actual gallon of gas is. The gallon of gas is valued at much lower than that, but you pay 18 cents per gallon in federal excise taxes on a gallon of gas. And here in North Carolina, we are 15th in the nation in gas taxes. So we have an additional 36 cents per gallon. So 36 cents of your money that comes out of that price that's on the road sign is for North Carolina, and then 18 cents of it is for the federal government. All right, and now we're going to talk about user fees. So for example, this would be airlines, car services, toll roads, utilities. You have to pay multiple sets of user fees on top of the ticketed price for your flight, your round-trip flight to wherever you want to go. You also have to pay multiple sets of taxes and a user fee. Okay, you're paying a fee for using that service, okay? Or like enterprise, rental car services like Budget or Hertz or Thrifty or whatever you decide to use, or like Alamo, something like that, you would have to pay a user fee on top of what the actual value of the use of the car would be. Okay, toll roads are another issue. I don't want to say an issue, but they are another way to collect taxes from just people in general. So the states that do not have income tax, like we talked about one lesson ago, they typically also have toll roads or higher sales taxes to make up for the fact that they don't have an income tax. So while you might feel better about not having income tax taken from your state, you are going to have to pay that amount one way or the other, okay? Specifically in the state of Florida, they have a toll road. Since the state of Florida is so long, they have a toll road pretty much every like 3 to 4 miles on specific highways. So you have to pay change every time you drive through that particular toll road. Also, utilities count as a user fee. You having to pay for using electricity and water and the sewer system and having Greenville come in and pick up your trash, that all counts as a user fee. And the last one is a sin or a luxury tax. So this is sin as in something that's bad for you. So cigarettes and alcohol are taxed at a higher percentage than other goods and services. So for example, cigarettes are behind the counter, not only because you have to be a specific age in order to use them, but also because they are taxed at a higher percent. So if you look on your receipt from like the corner store or from Walmart or wherever, if you were to buy any sort of tobacco product, that would always be taxed at a higher percent as the rest of your stuff. Alcohol is the same way. In North Carolina, we have ABC stores specifically for liquor. Beer and wine is able to be sold in the store like in any store, but liquor has to specifically be sold in an ABC store, and that is also taxed at a higher percentage. A luxury tax would be like expensive cars or jewelry, so like BMW or Rolex. Those are taxed at a higher percentage because they're already luxury items. So if you're planning on buying yourself a luxury car, just be mindful that you have to pay an additional tax that other people do not have to buy or do not have to pay if they decide not to purchase a luxury item. So how much do you pay? Okay, well, it depends. There are different systems of taxation. So there's regressive, there's proportional, and then there's progressive. Okay, regressive is the same percentage regardless of income. All right, and it typically hits the middle and lower classes the worst. So who does it hurt? The middle and lower classes. Okay, so for example, if somebody walks into the store and they make $30,000 a year and they're paying 7% sales tax, that hurts them worse than somebody who walks into the same store who makes $100,000 and has to pay 7% in sales tax. Okay, so regressive taxes typically hit the lower classes the worst. Proportional tax is the same flat rate on all individuals regardless of income, but not on goods and services. And its intention is to promote equality. North Carolina has this for income, and we'll discuss that a little more in a later unit. And progressive is what we have here in the United States, and the more you make, the more you pay. All right, and we figure this out through the marginal taxation system. So we split up percentages to pay into brackets, all right, and what are brackets? They are large-scale marginal utility. So at this particular portion, if we add this much more income, it is worth so-and-so percentage more to the United States government or to the state government or to the local government. And we'll get into that in the next lesson. Well, how do you pay? It is deducted from wages each pay period. And on your note sheet, gross income is before taxes and net income is after taxes. Okay? All right, it is collected by the IRS. Their job, this is not on this particular slide, but their job is to check that your taxes are correct. Okay, and if they're not, they'll send them back. They won't tell you specifically how to fix it, but they'll tell you what's wrong and how to resend it to them. Okay, so their job is to check that your taxes are accurate. Okay, not paying your taxes could get you a heavy fine or even jail time. Okay, so an additional side note, the IRS is part of the United States Department of the Treasury. That's the money department. Okay, and how are they used? They provide the 4 functions of government and give me a couple examples that we talked about previously in the last lesson. This has been Intro to Taxes, Part 2.